What's up, DBs? We're back for some more coverage review, and we have the Eagles again. They do a really good job at disguising, and making things look different. So, if we just break down football from the bare minimum, and when we're talking about quarterback reads, uh, one safety, middle field open, or sorry, good lord, one safety, middle field closed, two safeties, middle field open. Right. So if you're a young DB, this is what they're looking at. So right now, with this safety up top, the middle field is closed, and you can't really tell what's going on as far as like what they're going to run. It could be some type of cover one. We have three threats. All right, and it looks like we have someone here in man. We have someone over here. Could be some type of man. We have someone here. So it looks like cover one. And then we have some simulated pressure here. We have he looks like he's going to blitz. He looks like he's going to blitz. So you really don't know what you're going to get. But I like that they're giving this disguise because it speeds up the quarterback. It makes him think, oh man, if they actually send these guys, I got to get this ball out quick. I don't really have time to read. And then, hey, if these guys don't come, that is still another thing that they have to process. So anytime we can give them, we can overload their brain with things to think about pre-snap and post-snap. That's a step in our advantage, or that's a I don't know. It's to our advantage. All right. So I really really love how they turn a cover one look into an inverted cover two. So that's like the last thing I would expect. All right. So let's take a look at how you can tell it's inverted cover two. So let's just read this side here. All right. So if we're just reading the corner, all right, he gets out of there. This could be cover three. Just by the way he's bailing. I mean, it technically could still be quarters. So if you're reading the corner, you still don't really know, what he's doing. All right. And we have the nickel here who is going to get to the flat. All right. And he's going to get to the flat immediately. So this what kind of lets me know, or this is kind of one of the first details that gives away that it's actually a cover two, is that usually um, you want to try to get some type of hands on the slot. And if you're buzzing, you're usually going to shuffle. But the fact that he's immediately working there gives me cover two vibes. And then look at this, guys. We got a D lineman, a defensive end in his stance, getting out of his stance to drop back to what looks like the hook to me. All right. So I still can't tell what he's doing. I know he's a flat defender. So we have the flat. And it looks like the DN's going to get into a hook. So right now, on this side, we have flat and hook. All right, smells cover two. Let's take a look at the other side. All right, he looks like he was going to blitz. It looks like the B gap. He's going to get out of there into what looks like a hook drop. And then we have the linebacker who was pretty much the only linebacker in the box. Again, he's working to that flat immediately. He's not buzzing out, or he's not shuffling. He's not taking his time. Immediately working to that flat. So they're trying to set traps, right? They're trying to make it look like this slant down here to Amari Cooper is open. All right, so we're immediately working there to try to get under there to try to confuse the quarterback. And you see how the quarterback has to dissect all of this. He goes from a blitz to guys dropping, where they're dropping to, I don't know. But it looks like we have flat, hook, hook, flat. All right. And then if we look at the corner here, he only has one receiver and he's in a bail. Again, that could be cover. I mean, that could technically still be cover one. It could technically still be quarters. Technically, it still could be third. But I think what gives it away that these guys are actually playing an inverted cover two is this guy here, because he's going to drop to the middle. All right. And he's going to pick up the number two down down the middle of the field. All right. So it looks like he's carrying number two. All right. So he actually kind of, I mean, I guess CD Lamb gets on him really quickly, but we don't do the best job of picking him up. I would say we should probably, well, now that I think about it, what's him looking this way to Amari Cooper? Um, is probably what gets him to kind of sit to that side a little bit. So he gets his quarterback his head from Amari Cooper. We kind of relate to that. And then he gets it backside. So he actually does a really good job of processing where the holes are. All right. So he's still able to get CeeDee Lamb open. And Slay just does a good job coming from what I believe is his inverted two. So you've got to be able to get on top of the seams here. All right. So he does a good job of relating to the seam, staying deeper than both. All right. Way deeper than both. And that's what makes me think, again, he is playing a half, is that he is truly 5 yards. Both DBs are truly getting out of there, and they're 5 yards on top of the deepest man, which is what you have to be at least if you're going to play a half. And he's able to come off and make a play on the seam and what I believe to be an inverted cover two. So again, I think we have flat, hook, hook, flat, and then he's dropping to that middle carry, and he's relating to the threat up the seam here, and we have our corners who are doing a good job staying deeper than the deepest. And this is really tough. Like inverted two, I didn't really like it as much because if you don't disguise it, it puts you in a bad spot. All right, so if the quarterback has more time or feel like he has more time, there is a gap here and it's hard to just kind of relate there. But if you get two verticals and you're playing in that half technique, you definitely want to hug that seam more than you want to. So I would say 60-40. So 60% of, I would say, your body position to be to the seam. That's an easier throw. And then you can relate or you can flip your hips and still try to get to that hole shot. But again, that hole shot has to be on a rope. It's up to your flat defender to kind of, in a traditional cover two, jam him inside and make the ball have to go over the top. But because it's simulated pressure and we're disguising, if you look at, I think it's number 31 here, he expands to the flat, all right, and then he kind of hinges, knowing that if nothing's there, he needs to hinge and be here to prevent the whole shot, make that ball go over the top. So your inverted half defender, your corner, who's 60% here and 40% here, has enough time to flip his hips and get over. But Slay does a good job of making a play here. I love, love, love how they disguise. And guys, if you could disguise at the high school youth level, oh my goodness, like it's going to be too easy. Um, and you can disguise like this, but again, it takes two to tango at least. So corners and safety have to give the same read. If my corner is showing one thing, but safety showing another thing, it can kind of give things away. But a beautiful job of disguising from a one high look to an inverted two high look and making the play up the seam.